miscommunication is what breaks people. When if we can sit down and talk to them, we can come together. Now with technology, we can communicate with thousands and not connect with a single person, isn't it? I can send out an email to 5,000 people and still not to connect with a single person. So really I'm encouraging everyone, based on what I've shared today and moving forward to try to understand our religion. And this is another word that we don't like very much too. We love to say, I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person. And you have to say it like that too, right? I'm a spiritual person. Oh, good. Now that I have 4 minutes, I can answer any questions. Okay. Let me just finish this last thought. Religion is both the philosophy and practice needed for developing virtues. If it's just a philosophy and I don't do anything about it, it's just academia. If it's just practice but I don't know why I'm doing it, there's no philosophy behind it, then it's haphazard. But religion is the philosophy and the practice because that's how transformation takes place. So what we've done is we don't understand the rituals, which is the practical part, so we don't want to be like them. And the philosophy is easy because I don't have to do anything, so I become a spiritual person. But religion is the total package. Okay, I shall try. Do you think we have the right, or should we advise others when they do something wrong? It depends on the relationship. And no relationship is black or white. The way that we all interact with our spouses, each relationship is special, and the way that I communicate with my wife will be quite different than you communicate with your spouse. And I may say something to her which you may not like, but that doesn't mean she is offended by that, because it's the nature of our relationship. So, if someone is close to me, then it is right to advise them if they're doing something wrong. It is my responsibility to advise them to do something wrong. And even here, it depends on age. If they're under 15, for example, I should force them to not do the wrong thing. If they're over 15, then it kicks in more to the advice mode. When it comes to adults, because our egos are much more inflated, we have to be much more sensitive about how to deal with each other. So all of those variables need to be accounted for. And it's on a case-by-case basis. In this room, there's so many personalities, and if I say, we should do this, someone who wrote this probably was offended by me saying we should do this. Right? But another person I say we should do this, yes, you're right, we should do this. See how different it is, each personality? Why do we have to keep our life balanced? When we're driving in a car, and we're in Pittsburgh, and we start skidding on ice, do we feel good? When you and I are on a teeter-totter, and you're going up and down too fast, or you're about to slip off, do we feel good? No. So balance is synonymous with happiness. And Mahatma Gandhi has shared, when our thoughts, words, and deeds are in harmony, that is happiness. So balance is a way to be happy, and that's all we want to be. What is Karma Yoga? Karma means action. Karma Yoga means action with attitude. And I don't mean diva attitude, like I'm giving you attitude. It means the right attitude. It is a life of dedication. As a brahmachari, as a student, I am dedicated to me. As a grihastha, as a householder, I am dedicated to we. As a vanaprasthi, as a retired person, I am dedicated to he. As a sannyasi, as a renunciate, I am dedicated to be. So it is a life of dedication. And the greater our altar, the greater the purpose, the greater the performance. Remember the hockey example I gave. Next year you'll see the same thing happen again. Can a woman be a sannyasi? Definitely. I haven't read the rest of the question. This question came up in a satsang. Here's another classic example of us projecting instead of understanding. I never said a sannyasi about gender. I specifically said he or she. And even if I said he, it's just to save time. There's no gender to any of our samskaras. I was sharing earlier today, the 11th samskara, rites of evolution, rites of purification, is upanayana, when you have your jinayu done. How many of you have your sacred thread ceremony done? So he put his hand down. So few people. And when did we get it done? The day before our marriage, wasn't it? Because you can't get married without it done. This is for males and females, boys and girls. Back in the day, one couldn't go to the Gurukul unless they had their sacred thread ceremony done. And what happens at the Gurukul? I specifically said secular and sacred knowledge is both taught. Now, if I don't have that thread, which means I can't go to the Gurukul, which means I don't get educated, which means I become subservient. Even in today's day, if I don't have a high school degree, am I not a slave to the world? Education is power. So every samskara is beyond gender. Sannyasis and sannyasini. In Chinmaya Mission, we have many of both. When I studied in India, there were 60 students, 2/3 were male, 1/3 were female. When we chose to have our Upanayana done, so many of the brahmacharinis had their Upanayana done too. Why pray? As you think, so you become. So you are, so you do. When I pray, am I not thinking of that which is higher? So I raise my personality as well. And the focus then doesn't become the ego. And most of our prayers are for ourselves, but a higher prayer is to start praying for other people. Praying for other people's well-being. Then it's a greater attack on the ego. How does one fulfill the duties of grihastha without being attached? The 6th samskara is called nishkramana. And that is in the 4th month, a father takes the child on an auspicious day to the temple or ashram for the first time. And the message is twofold. The message to the child is, you were born as an orphan, these are your parents. Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, or Lord Rama, Mother Sita, whoever it may be. Find them. Remember I said as a brahmachari, it is to find who we are, find our responsibilities, roles and responsibilities. The message to the parents is, this is not your child. This is God's child. We are custodians, we are caretakers, we are well-wishers, all of that. But what happens is that we lose perspective, and that's where attachment kicks in. When we remember that all of our relationships, and let me go to spouses too. At the end of a Vedic wedding ceremony, vivaha, it is 3 full days of just rituals. And the message is, before you get married, think, because you're going to have to go through all of this. Before you get divorced, think again, because you just went through all of this. And at the end of the ceremony, everyone in the audience bows down to that newly married couple. Because it is not a male and a female, it is Mother Lakshmi and Father Narayana that just got married. So it's a matter of perspective. And this we have to think about again and again and again. We keep hurting ourselves through attachment. Attachment and love are not the same. Attachment is a dependency. Love is an independent experience. In attachment, I ask. In independence, I give. You said that the dharma of a brahmachari is to study, and the dharma of a vanaprastha is to serve. If a teenager has to choose between studying or serving the community, which should she choose? Only when we study can we serve. A lot of people like to serve, but they don't know why they're serving. It's just flashiness. It's just ego. But when one goes through the scriptures, they begin to see themselves in another person. They stop saying I serve. It just becomes a natural expression of living. Hanumanji has golden earrings and golden bracelets. The golden earrings represent Shravanam, the golden bracelets represent Seva. Study first, then serve. That's why, as students, study. And you will be empowered to serve them. Why do we prostrate to elders? Because they can give us what we want. That's why. I mean that in a financial way, I mean that in a food way, I mean that in a virtues way. There's a proverb that says, with age comes wisdom. What kind of people say that? Old people. Old people say that to make themselves feel good. Age does not come with wisdom. Age comes with reflection. Because if I don't reflect, I'll make the same mistakes year after year after year. We prostrate to elders hoping that they've learned from their mistakes and that we can be proactive and not make the same mistakes. Why aren't we all so good? Because we keep forgetting to be good. We keep remembering to be bad instead of good. That's it. Oh, these questions don't end. Why is it wrong to be attached to someone? Because we become beggars instead of givers. If I love my wife, I shouldn't ask anything for her. I should want to give to her. And specifically love. In attachment, I'm asking from her. A mother is attached to her child. Why is that? Initially, a mother is not attached to her child. She becomes attached. When that mother has an infant, there's no expectations of that child, correct? You can wake me up whenever you want. You can ask for any amount of food. I will do anything for you. But as that child becomes older, the ego is formed. And so the child's ego is formed. And the mother and child, they have a clash. And I don't mean hardcore clash. But wherever there's egos, there's going to be a clash. And so conditions come up. And that's why the mother becomes joyous only if things go well. But things aren't going to go well. Ever. Who created Lord Brahma? Lord Vishnu. That's why you see that comes out of his navel is, out of Lord Vishnu's navel is Lord Brahma. At the end of this period of time, Lord Brahma will go to sleep. He will be gone. And at the beginning of creation, he will come back. But Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva are eternal. They're always awake. But not really. See, their eyes are half open and half closed to teach us to revel in our freedom, in our nature, and be dynamic outside. They're both so dynamic. Their eyes are not totally open, meaning they forgot who they are, and they're not totally closed, meaning they forgot who we are. They know both. These ones, I will pick up another time, for the sake of being punctual. My gratitude to all of you, like I began. I don't do this for you, I do it for me. Because the more that I remember this, the more I can practice this. And this is, I want to be free too. So I'm grateful for all of the opportunities that all of you, and today specifically, Sri Ramji, Shibraji, Deepika, Tanvika, I keep wanting to say Tanvi, Tanvika, and Chinmay Mission Pittsburgh. They're very gracious to ask me to come visit them regularly. And I'm happy to do so. And to the Guru Parampara and to the Lord, whom with there is nothing. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.